Now, a moment of truth. What bad habits do you have? If you don't think you have any, maybe that's your bad habit, denial. But we're not here to criticize you, we're here to help. Juju Chang takes another look at people who are willing to go public with their bad habits to help us conquer ours.
This is my living room.
Michelle Espy's house is a wreck,
This is my kitchen.
but she can't seem to stop being a slob.
And this is my bedroom.
Mindy Hartman can't stop shopping. Despite herself, she goes from store to store in search of bargains. Uche Odiatu is a successful dentist and fitness author who seems to have it all, but he's late for everything. What do Uche, Michelle, and Mindy have in common? A bad habit they can't get rid of. And they're not alone. Almost all of us have them.
It can be anything from nail biting or compulsively checking your email or gossiping or hair twirling.
Educator and life coach Judith Wright calls these habits soft addictions.
There's normal everyday activities that we so often overdo that has this addictive, compulsive kind of pattern to it.
In Wright's book, The Soft Addiction Solution, she breaks down soft addictions. Some zone you out, like too much TV or too much internet surfing. Some are behaviors, like overeating, while others involve gadgets. iPods and Blackberries are, for some, the adult equivalent of thumb-sucking. Wright says it's when the behavior no longer just soothes you, but begins to bother you instead.
My kitchen,
Michelle is definitely embarrassed by her messy house.
very cluttered.
But the problem, Michelle says, is that she's just not home to clean. She owns a pet shop, goes to college, and drives her kids around. Cleaning is the last thing on her mind.
It's not that I like the way it is, because I hate it. By the time I get home, I'm pretty much drained.
You feel overwhelmed.
Very.
Michelle says she's not good at asking the rest of the family to pitch in, so the clutter grows and grows. There's toys, papers, food wrappers, soda cans, and lots of clothes.
Everybody picks their own little drop-off zones. The kitchen table has stuff from everybody. It's a problem, and I want to get it fixed.
Everyone in our group, they desperately want to get it fixed. They just don't know how. At least Uche knows why he's late.
I'll often say yes to everything, and I'll see maybe 15, 16, 17 patients in a day. So you can imagine it.
That's a tight schedule.
It is a tight schedule.
It sounds to me almost like you're biting off more than you can chew in your life.
Right.
And his overscheduling takes its toll on his wife, Carrie, who's often left waiting.
So I'll be back in an hour, and then I'll be back like an hour and 45 minutes.
I just expect that he'll be late. I expect it, and I don't think that's a good way to live, expecting that someone won't be there and that they're going to disappoint you again.
Mindy Hartman feels like she's disappointing her husband, too. Kirk says she buys useless things and spends too much money. In Kirk's view, his money. He's a farmer, and he works in an office, while she stays at home with their 2 young sons.
Does it feel selfish to you, what she's doing?
Sometimes it does. It seems very selfish. I'm doing the work, and then she's out spending.
We live out in the country. We have nothing but land and cows to look at.
Mindy says she shops because she's bored.
Oh, look at that. That's pretty
That
cool.
just came in yesterday. Isn't that fun?
Let's go for that then.
But that doesn't fly with Kirk, so Mindy often hides her purchases.
This here were chair covers. This here, somebody apparently didn't want, so they garage saled it. Haven't decided what I'm going to do with it yet. These are just baskets that I've purchased just to purchase them. It causes a lot of tension at the end of the month when the bank statements arrive.
She's not just hiding the purchases, she's hiding the bills, too.
I've got between the mailbox and the house to come up with an idea that's going to be fast and quick to hide that bank statement in. Sometimes it's even under the rug.
I usually find the bank statements hid in the back of a cabinet behind a whole bunch of other stuff.
Why should you have to go searching for your bank bills?
I've always said that's what makes me the maddest is her not telling me the truth.
Wright agreed to work with Mindy and the rest of our group for free with cameras rolling. She usually gets $500 an hour counseling corporate bigwigs. She found Mindy is using her shopping to fill some emptiness in her life, That's common for most soft addictions.
We keep going to them hoping that they'll give us what it is we need. If I just have enough designer dresses, then I'll be loved. Or if I just gossip enough, then I'll have connection with another person.
What do you think you didn't get that you're chasing after?
Probably having Kirk around. He just needs to be around more often.
Would you say you're lonely?
Yeah, I would say that. That would kind of sum it up. I guess I am kind of lonely.
Mindy says her deepest feelings of loneliness started 3 years ago, which is when her over-shopping got much worse.
What has happened in your life? Any changes? Anything different?
Well, we had a little boy, Alex, and he got severely sick. Sorry.
Sorry, sweetie.
It's okay.
I didn't know.
Sorry. We almost lost him.
During Alex's long recovery, Mindy felt Kirk had abandoned her.
I mean, I wanted to be there, but knew I couldn't.
He has to work. He has to make the money. He has to pay the bills. So I didn't have him there.
So without her husband to lean on, Mindy found comfort through shopping. But what comfort could Uchi be getting out of being late?
Reward you in some way? What do you think that is?
I got a feeling of self-importance. For some reason, everyone's waiting for me.
So in many ways, other people are taking care of you and taking the brunt and taking that pressure if you're being late.
In their counseling session, Wright uncovered that deep down, Uchi's lateness is really a cry for attention.
And this was supposed to be the family room.
In Michelle's one-on-one session, Wright found that there were deeper emotions buried under all that clutter.
I live for my kids and my animals.
Is that working?
I don't know. I just want all my kids and my husband to be happy.
Yeah. And what about Michelle?
Oh, I'll get there when the kids are gone.
Wright says Michelle needs to rediscover her happiness now.
I used to take pictures for fun.
Yeah.
I haven't done that for like 2 years.
Because?
No time.
Wright says most soft addictions follow fairly predictable patterns. A messy person like Michelle is finding time through avoidance. Uchi's tardiness can be a power play, and Mindy's over-shopping soothes her loneliness. Her next challenge? Wright tailors a specific battle plan for each person. When we come back, will it work? We've seen how bad habits can make your life miserable. Of course, if they were easy to break, no one would have them. Counselor Judith Wright calls them soft addictions and says it's time for our group to break free of theirs. Her formula? Add things that fill up their emptiness and slowly subtract from their soft addiction, one bit at a time. First, she prescribed a plan for Michelle.
So what we want to do is start adding in you doing more things that you really enjoy.
So Wright told Michelle, who was once talented enough to sell her photos, to start taking them again.
I have never had someone say, go take pictures.
Yeah, go take pictures. It's part of who you are, and that's what's going to give you more energy, and it'll make you want to do more of these other things. You're just giving away too much of yourself right now.
It would feel really, really good to take pictures.
Then Wright tells Michelle, whose soft addiction was avoiding cleaning, to subtract a bit of it by cleaning just one thing in her house.
What if we started just only with the kitchen table? Does that seem doable to you?
Mm-hmm.
You said take a photograph. Start with the kitchen table. Like, what's the big deal?
It's a very big deal. Yes, it's a literal thing of a photograph, but it's way more symbolic for her. It means taking her life back.
So how does Uchi get his life on track? For the doctor whose lateness is really a cry for attention, Wright suggests, go ahead, indulge yourself a little.
You mean like getting a massage?
Getting a massage is great.
Is it that simple? A massage will make you suddenly punctual? Not exactly, but Wright says it's a first step.
If you can add those things in that meet those deeper needs, the soft addictions kind of start releasing themselves.
Next, Wright subtracts a little tardiness.
Okay, so tomorrow you're going to do one thing that's on time. You can be late to everything else tomorrow.
I have your permission?
You have, yeah. Every single day you're going to subtract some of the lateness. But we're not going cold turkey here. You're not going to be Mr. Punctual tomorrow.
Okay.
And what about Mindy, who was covering up her loneliness with shopping? Wright told her to add a little romance back into her marriage.
When's the last time you two were out on a date?
Sorry. That'd have been 10 years ago.
10 years ago. Okay. Well, would you like him to take you out on a date and pay for it?
Yeah, I think they
All right. Okay. So we're going to add dates into your life.
Next, Wright says subtract some shopping by putting Mindy on a budget.
What would be a good limit you could start with that you feel like you could do?
$200
$200
a week.
a week. All right. So we're going to subtract your shopping, limit it to $200 for the week. We're going to start there.
Wright sent our group home to give it all a try. But Judith Wright didn't just send them off to do it alone. She's been coaching them by phone.
Hi, Judith. How are you?
Will the initial enthusiasm last? Might they relapse? Mindy says some amazing things have happened.
I'm getting a buzz from not having to hide anything from him. I think that's been the biggest improvement with our relationship now is I don't have to hide what I felt horrible about in the past.
Mindy is doing her best to stick to her $200 weekly household budget, and she's using cash to make sure she doesn't go over.
The budget's been really simple. I'll go shopping, and I'm able now to visually put items I know I really don't need on one side of my purse, things I really do need on the other side of my purse, and I actually feel good about myself when I walk out of a store now.
And Kirk, what's the biggest change for you?
Her being truthful just makes everybody feel so much better around here.
Right. No more sneaking around.
No more hiding, no more anything.
And on Wright's advice, she and Kirk went out on a date.
Thank you.
They intend to make it a regular thing. How is Uchi doing? He's still working hard, but he's making more time for himself. His on-time record is not perfect, but he's now punctual 3/4 of the time. When we caught up with Michelle, she was busy taking pictures, but some of the first photos she took weren't out in nature, they were inside her home. Before and after. She tackled not only her kitchen table, but months later, nearly her whole house is clean. Michelle says getting rid of her bad habit has given her whole life new perspective.